How you doing? Not so good? I bet you're not doing so good. I mean, you clicked on a video like this, so you probably aren't in a great headspace, right? Or maybe you want to know what to do, and as a contingency in the scenario in which you're not in a good headspace, where you do feel alone, where maybe you actually will be alone, right? And if you're anticipating that whatsoever, or generally speaking, then it's probably going to happen for a few reasons. Mainly because the most common scenario is that, like, if someone feels like they're generally alone, going to be generally alone, they have not been nurturing the proper types of relationships, or at least they haven't been doing so properly, right? So let's get you prepared for that. I'm not saying that I want you to be alone, because it's seemingly going to happen. I'm saying that I understand what happens, and what people even do to themselves. Most of the time, our worst enemy is ourselves. As corny as that sounds, it's true a lot of the time. Most of the time, in fact. There's a reason Sun Tzu was like, if you know yourself and thy enemy and stuff like that, right? Or like he basically, and a bunch of other people put knowing yourself as conquering yourself as more impressive than conquering your enemies. So no matter what those enemies might be. So we're gonna get to that. We're going to help you conquer the feeling of being alone, because most of the time it is literally just the feeling of being alone that overwhelms people and drives them to do things that they'll ultimately regret deeply, right? It's not actually being alone, and it's a vicious cycle, right? Because if you feel deeply alone, like, in a lot of senses, if you let that control you in any way, your actions will begin to manifest a lot of horrible things into reality, which will feed into probably you ending up alone and hurt, and all these other things, and not beat up, so to speak, right? Not well taken care of. So I need you to think of it like this, right? First and foremost, because I want to get this out of the way right away. If you do legitimately just have nobody, like you have nobody, for whatever reason, there's many reasons that you could have nobody. If you have nobody, I do mean nobody, you have me, okay? And I understand to most of you, I'm probably just some stranger on the internet. To those of you within the community, on this channel, and on the live streams, the Discord, everything, we're a very tightly, closely knit, supportive community. But to most of you, I'm just some stranger on the internet. And it's like, why would you trust a stranger on the internet with your, I don't know, deep problems? Or like, why would just some guy on a screen be able to help you feel less alone? Well, I've especially determined to be more than just someone that people can just watch, right? And derive things from just watching. For example, if you DM me, right? If you reach out saying, I know you don't know me, you don't know my situation. I know, like, since you don't know me, you probably don't care about me, right? But I need help. I don't know what to do. Even if, like, I'm scared, I'm alone. I'm here for you. Okay, you can reach out in any sort of form. It doesn't have to be on a DM. It could be on the live stream. It could be in the comment section. I want to make sure in every possible regard that I can that everybody has somebody, because everybody needs somebody. But you don't want to stop with me, right? You don't want to stop with the community necessarily. Like, you want to use people who want to help you, right, as sort of kindling for the fire that will, like, fuel you becoming something more. You don't want to rely on the fuel itself, right? You want to eventually become the type of person that people can rely on, give back, so to speak, but also be able to support yourself in a lot of ways. That's ultimately my idea, right? Is to help you help you. I don't like helping people, right, directly. I like helping people help themselves, because that's ultimately what it is. That's ultimately the best form of help you can give somebody. But aside from actually taking care of not being alone, taking care of the feeling of being alone is the most important. I understand we briefly touched on this, but let me go through it in a better detail, something that's probably easier to understand and get your head around the feeling of being alone. If you feel like you have nobody, you will freak out, because human beings are not just social creatures, but we need people, right? It takes a village to do a lot of things. We need relationships. We need friends. We need so many different types of relationships, honestly. And if we feel alone, we're gonna freak out. And when you freak out, you do things that will hurt yourself, okay? In one way or another, which will put you in a worse state and cause you to freak out even more, which will cause you to do more things that are damaging, which will cause you to, again, freak out some more. So we need to get you out of that cycle, which possibly you're in right now. Being alone, feeling alone, is the way I've broken the cycle is by understanding a few things, reminding myself of a few things, right? As long as your heart is beating, Now, this is going to sound corny. You're going to have to hear me out a little bit. As long as your heart is beating, and as long as you have some inkling, not even that, just as long as your heart is beating, there's a possibility that you will no longer be alone and that things will get better. You understand that change is inevitable, right? That's not just with the good things, it's with the bad things, right? They will change as long as your heart is beating. So do everything you possibly can. And I understand maybe you're not in the best state of being right now, so you need to take a minute, you need to rest, whatever it might be. But as soon as you possibly can, do things to support that heart beating healthily, right? That heart pumping healthy blood to a healthy brain, supporting a healthy body that's nourished properly and is regulated properly, that gets enough sun, that gets enough exercise, that eventually gets enough food and water. That's a big one. When you're in a bad state, it's really easy to either not eat at all or eat too much, so be aware of these things and start small. Start really, really small, and just do whatever you possibly can to enable yourself, to put you in a state where you're no longer feeling alone, because you have a plethora of reasons. That just means a lot of reasons not to feel alone, because eventually the more healthy you are, the more you'll be around other healthy people, the more you'll nurture healthy relationships, the more you'll be able to say that you have someone healthy and good standing to be there for you, especially when things are just going bad, because they always do. Something always goes bad. And even if things didn't go bad, so to speak, you can do great things with those people. And when it comes to steps into meeting those people directly, right? Once you get like a shower in, right? And like you generally groom yourself, and getting out of the house is not even easy, but possible, right? Try to like get involved with some type of in-person thing that does not involve like substances, right? Like don't go to a bar, don't go to smoke sessions with people. Like those are people trying to escape. Those are people who, even if they wanted to, couldn't, help people. You want to go to like places where healthy, well-standing people would be at. And in your community, that might mean different places, right? I mean, it may or may not mean the gym, because in a lot of communities, the gym is just a place to work out and it's not a place to meet people. But like, you can even get a little bit creative with it. Maybe you go to a library, like your local university library in particular, because like you'll have sociable people there, or just people of your age that are doing decent things and not abusing substances. But inevitably, you will meet good people. Like, I've met the best friends of my life seemingly by accident. And it's because I was interacting with a lot of people at once. And then the good ones stood out, and then I nurtured a good relationship with the good ones. And then they're here to this day. That's how it happens. In a lot of ways, it's a numbers game. But doing things like putting yourself in a healthy environment will increase the chances of those numbers, like not having to be so high for you to meet good people. So if that feeling of loneliness, which I'm sure is just overwhelming you right now, it's just lingering and it's just the feeling of it, I need you to know not only that I am here, okay? If nobody else, I am here, which I get that I'm just some guy on a screen or whatever, which just isn't the case. I'm a real human being, which it's easy to disassociate that when it comes to people online because of how much content we watch. We don't really think of the people in the content as people, right? We think of it as content. But like, I'm a person who is here for you. I'm a real life person. I'm breathing the same as you. I'm thinking the same as you. My heart is beating the same as you, okay? I'm probably watching this content back or something like that, the same as you. And I felt alone the same as you. Okay, I've been alone, possibly the same as you, okay? So I am here for you at the very least. And the main thing you have to worry about is that feeling and getting stuck in your head, and your head telling you things that just aren't true. That just aren't true, Here's something that kind of helped me a bit that I saw kind of out of the blue. Didn't mean to rhyme there, my fault. It's, if a thought starts with what if, if you're in a bad state of being, you need to ignore that thought. Okay, you need to consider it an intrusive thought if you're in a bad state of being. If it starts with what if, or like if it has the what if premise to it, because you will get into some bad cycles, right? Like, and this doesn't just apply to like feeling alone and being like, what if I have nobody? What if it's too much? What if I can't handle this? What if I never, become the type of person who good people would want to be friends with? Like what if? You get out of that. It's hurting you the most out of anything, okay? I mean that. I really do. But it's also like examples of that can be derived from like relationships, right? Like it starts with like, what if, say my partner is lying to me, like, right? What if they're lying to me? Then it's like, what if they're lying to me because they're hiding something serious? And it's like, what if while they were out and they didn't, like keep me updated and all that, they were like hooking up with somebody, right? Or what if, and it's like the what ifs, they get bad and they become the issue. You need to understand that, like, you need to believe what you see in a lot of ways. You need to believe what you can process, right? And have a level of evidence too. That's what you need to believe, and not get stuck on this what if cycle, which everybody has at one point. So, like the relationship example, because I feel like that's easier to digest. Obviously, you should nurture and build a relationship based on trust, even if and honesty. Even if honesty hurts sometimes, you need to basically insist on it from yourself and from your partner, even if it hurts. That, and you need to get to know your partner and perception and stuff like that, just as you would get to know yourself with loneliness. And you need to see examples of these what if things actually proving themselves to be, instead of just what if. Now, I'm not trying to draw this video out too much. I'm here for you, okay? I care about you deeply. If you care enough to put yourself in a good state of being, or if you just care enough to if you just care, even a little bit, you know, if the seed is there, it can develop. So for a lot of good reasons, I love you, specifically you, okay? If you want immediate feedback and help from me, I do live streams, right? And they're not always, I like to brand them as advice live streams, I'm here for you live streams. I don't always do that, but if you hop into one that isn't branded like that, you can still ask me for help, advice, whatever it might be, and or just someone being there, and I'll be there for you. And if you want a community right away, the Discord it's filled with just the best people. It's amazing. I've been so blessed to have this community, to be a part of it. That'll be in the description as well, of course, as well as in the about section of the channel. Still seek and foster a relationship with an in-person community. That's extremely important, okay? So generally speaking, stay epic style. And I'm gonna kiss you on the face now, okay? I was gonna grab you, but I think that'd be a little bit too, jarring. So that's for a future video. Stay epic, and take care of yourself. Take care of yourself as if you were someone that you're responsible for taking care of, and as if that person was someone